Hi guys, we are back, and we're back with a special episode. We just arrived at Tropical Fruit World, as you can see, and we're very excited to have a look around. Kim's gone to make her video. We do videos now as a team, her version and my version. So let's have a look. We got lucky with the weather, even though it's been crazy, rainy, windy, you name it, throughout southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. Today we struck gold, so I thought, that's it, let's do it. And there's the famous avocado here at Tropical Fruit World. Kim got me a hat for the occasion. Cool, huh? You like it, guys? So we booked in a tour, and we came a little early to have a look around first before jumping on the choo-choo train. I've never seen a bougainvillea shaped as a tree. Have you guys? Check it out. It's a multi-trunk tree. Look at that. Wow, that's so cool. This is exactly how I would like my bougainvillea to be, in the shape of a tree. Beautiful. So here we entered the property with a looks like a fruit stall to begin with, and lots of beautiful flowers. Oh, and they have a nursery. Let's have a look at the nursery over there. There's the fruit farm, and Kim's in there having a look at the produce. Avocados for sale. Some nice specimens. Yep. Wow, very nice. Oh, there's a choo-choo train. That's what we're getting on soon. Choo-choo! Actually, it's a tractor. Nice. Beautiful, guys. So far, I'm quite impressed with the overall setup. And I'm glad it's not crowded, right? So the price on these avocados is $55 on all varieties. Look how thick the trunk is. It's at least 2.5 inches. Yep, pretty good, nice and thick. There's the price for the farm tour. If you're a local, it's half price. Unfortunately, we're far from local. We drove 20 hours to get here, which means we should be letting for free as our reward. Nah, that's fine. So welcome to this very special place. Our 6th generation Australian family has nurtured this farm for over 40 years, and it opens its secrets for your pleasure. Yeah, nice. Okay, now we're entering the market, and we have big choice of avocados, citrus, more avocados, papaya, bananas, grapefruit, and more plants for sale. Oh, nice. What do we got here? Soursop, which refuses to grow in Melbourne. Lisa's trying. Good luck to her. She got an advanced tree, but when they're this small, right? I've tried this size. It doesn't work, guys. Doesn't work. So they got Gurumi Chama, which we have, and they've got Star Apple, which also does not work in Melbourne. I've never seen a pink one. Unless they mean purple. Purple is what it probably is, mislabeled. Then we have the cherry guava, which we have a lot of at home. Jabudikaba, And Canistel, another one that doesn't do well in Melbourne, refuses to grow or get through winter. They've been smashed up a bit too here, as you can see in the subtropics. Look at that, cold damage. But the good news here is they're getting new growth coming now in spring. That's the difference, guys. And lastly, Saba nut. Yeah, I've got one of these, the Malabar nut, which is doing fine in Melbourne, but it needed protection all winter. Oh, and I have Rollinia. And Rollinia is so-so in Melbourne. Can survive, but needs a lot of babying. A lot of baby work for the Rollinia. I wish the Canistel would make it, but it's tough. And they've got some more plants up here in the nursery. These look like ornamentals. Oh no, sorry. They're fruit trees. We've got yellow mangosteen, which, well, can survive in Melbourne. There's a Nanking cherry. I've heard good things about that. Yellow jabuticaba. And what's this one? Lau Lau, which is an ornamental, which I don't think will work in Melbourne. What else? Water cherry. I don't know what the water cherry is. You guys know what a water cherry is? It's doing well, new growth. And then they've got the pepino, figs, basil, candle nut tree. These are doing pretty good. A bunch of citrus, Chinese raisin, passion fruit, pomegranate, and some kind of berries here. That's it. Wow, beautiful, very nice. Oh, I spotted some macadamia as well, young ones. Some yellow sapote there, Canistel. Black sapote. Alright guys, that's the food store. There's that little tour coming up soon. They're just wrapping it up. That's the morning tour. We're here for the lunch tour. And here we have a gift market cafe where Kim is, of course. She loves gifts and food. Who doesn't, right? So check out these mangoes. These are Linda mangoes. Check this out, guys. This is a white sapote leaf for tea. Interesting, huh? You get ideas when you travel. And the Linda avocados are $6 each. That's the size of a Linda avocado. Wow. There's Kim again, interacting with the staff. Okay, the fruit tasting is over. Kim took a lot of photos. You can check them out also on my Instagram, which is coming soon. So everyone's waiting for the choo-choo now, which is a tractor actually, so we can do the farm tour. There's a big mango that looks around 40 to 50 years old. Well, could be 20, but it's massive. So we're just standing around waiting for the tractor to turn up. There's falsa. They've got a lot of different species around the farm as we wait. Actually a whole path going all the way down there of fruit trees, which Kim again took photos of. Here's more from their nursery. Wow, it's so well organized and clean. Beautiful. Yeah, I feel like I'm on a tropical island. It's so tropical here. Only half an hour from the Gold Coast, or from Byron Bay. It's just beautiful. So guys, you can do a lot here in the subtropics if you're in the right area, right? Here's a Cactus Patch. I just planted these guys a couple of years ago. The prickly pear and the Peruvian apple. They take a long time, but look what happens after they're all established. Look out. Also down this laneway here, there's a hedge of jabuticaba and various tropical fruit trees. I didn't film those yet. I might film them later, but the this laneway goes all the way around, and there's all these different hedges of tropical fruit trees. Just beautiful. Here is the Brazilian guava to begin with. Here it is here. This one I don't have. I heard it wasn't that crash hot. And this is the feijoa, also known as the pineapple guava, which we do have back home in the driveway as a hedge, and more, and on and on and on it goes. Very impressive. Check out the avocado trees, also fully established. Looks like they're at least 20 years old. Big fat ones. And they're all flowering, just like they are back home. Massive trees. This is the velvet apple, guys, and it's fruiting, also known as mabolo. Another tree here is flowering. I think that's a sea grape. Yep, looks like it. And here comes our ride for the farm. Choo choo! Kim, are you excited?
I'm excited.
Yay! Toot toot!
I'm not too sure. I was supposed to have a look to see what you guys actually had so I could know what to talk about when we're out in the road, but I didn't take a look. Originally it was a dairy farm where you guys just ate your fruit. That was the original milking shed. This place on the right, Plantation House, that was built in 1972, so it was built around the same time just before Bob actually purchased this farm. Bob Brinsmead owns the farm. He came here in 1948 as a 12-year-old boy. As a 12-year-old boy, fell in love with the farm. At the time, about 8 acres was leased out to the New South Wales government. It was called the Duranbar Experimental Plot. And what the government was doing was they were testing the soil. Because it's volcanic soil, it's very sacred soil to get ochre. But it's a perfect soil to pretty much grow anything. So Bob fell in love with that, and then 30 years later it came up for sale, and he purchased it within 24 hours, I think they say. Because I'm still new here, I'm sort of learning, and sometimes I might be a few years off here and there. But he purchased it, and he opened it to the public for the first time in 1983 as Avocado Land. As you saw just before, some of it is mulch, but most of it is just left to get back to the soil. Up there on the left-hand side, you've got Mount Warning, also known as Wollumban, the fighting chief, and also the cloud catcher. So it's a 25 million year old volcano. It is extinct. Last time it erupted was 25 million years ago. It's during its peak, scientists say that the actual lava cover would cover 7,000 kilometre radius. Millions and millions and millions of crystals. So it's a very rare volcano. It's very sacred to the First Nations people. As I mentioned before, we are doing some major pruning. You'll notice that down this side it's a lot harder, the pruning's very hard. Now another reason for that is with all this wet weather we've had for the last 2 years and all the flooding, a few of our trees have actually picked up a few diseases. Now rather than using chemicals and pesticides on those trees to kill the diseases, what we do is we just prune them right back to virtually nothing. In about 2 or 3 years time, they start growing again and producing fruit. The fruit needs to be eaten by pests. What it does is actually it fires the immune system of the tree up. So that tree, the immune system fires up and it creates compounds and enzymes which then it puts into the tree and into the fruit. And that's where we get all our nutrition from. So I'm just looking for some now so I can point them out. They're the trees that have got the diseases actually hit them even worse. So what we do is we pump a form of potassium into them. It's actually an organic compound that we... sorry, I was just looking for a water dragon as well. That we actually pump into them. So again, we don't use those chemicals. You guys just passed our Australian avocado, the Charwell. Now, I actually heard a story from the guys that work it, but I reckon they've just told me this because they want me to tell you guys so they can actually laugh at me. But the Charwell gets its name from Sharon and William, and they're the people that actually created that species. I'm sure they're having me on. The reason for that is that we're just not warm enough here. It's further up north they produce fruit every year. Here we're a lot wetter and not quite warm enough, so it's only every 2 to 3 years. But when we do produce them, we get an abundance of them. They produce them big time.
Mango.
Bob, who brought the farm and owns the farm still, he lives just up the road here, so he's always on the farm. He always spends time with the farmers, the workers. He's very passionate about the farm. What would you call them? More creamy avocados. They look a bit like a baseball or a softball. We've got our Linda avocados just up here on our right as well. They're the bigger versions. We've got a couple at our next stop. You'll notice that there's some rubbish on the ground. It's not actually rubbish. They're actually doing some, what do you call it when they, I've totally forgot. But they cut back some of the bark and then they, I'll remember guys soon. But that's actually fallen off a tree. Now we've got a really cool tree coming up. I might actually stop and pick some of the fruit for you. It's known as the chewing gum tree, the Chico. So it's actually what they originally made chewing gum out of. So I'm just going to stop, and I'm not supposed to do this, so don't say anything. And I'll pick some fruit for you kids to feel. It's not ripe yet, but you'll get to feel the sap and how horrible it actually is. Sap all over me. The actual leaves of this tree contain every vitamin, mineral and nutrient we actually need to survive. So we can actually survive solely on those leaves. It's also a very drought resilient tree, so it can go for years without actually having water and still be producing leaves and then seeds. Just up right here, we've got our Jamaican lemon tree. Now this tree was planted by Bob Marley back in the late 70s, early 80s. While he was over here on tour. I just made that up, that's not true. Our macadamia trees. So our macadamia, it's native to Australia, but it was Hawaiians that first commercially produced macadamia. But the cool thing about macadamia is that scientists from the Gold Coast recently genetically tested 70% of the trees in Hawaii and found them they were all genetically related to a bunch of trees in Gympie, Australia. We've got our Shepherd jackfruit on the right now, there. So that's the smallest of the jackfruit species. The jackfruit's native to India. It can grow up to 80 kgs. The biggest we've had on the farm is about 43 to 45 kgs. It's a bit of a superfood. It's full of potassium, magnesium. It's got 15 times more potassium than actually bananas have. And it's the only fruit in the world that actually contains all the vitamin B complex. It's also very high in iron. This is our Pacific garden, guys. It's pretty much where we grow. We've got a lot, you can't actually see it from here, but I learned this morning because I actually went for a walk around here, but It's full of bananas down there. So many different bananas. But we've got oranges to the right and to the left. On the other side of the oranges on the left there, we've got our passion fruit. Now the passion fruit's an easy grow for us. It lasts about 2 years before it dies off. But when it's ready, it just falls off and it rolls down the hill, and the farmers can actually just collect it from the bottom of the hill. We've only got about 3 or 4 farm hands on the farm, so all our picking is done by hand. We don't have machinery to do all the picking. So they love the passion fruit, it's easy to grow. Now a really cool fact is between where we are now and New Zealand, just off the coast of Australia, about halfway between Australia and New Zealand actually, there's a chain of seamount volcanoes which run the entire length of the east coast of Australia. And they've been eroding for the last 25,000 years, and they've just started to have movement in them. So scientists are actually watching them because they're not dead, they're actually just dormant, but they're starting to move. And they could actually be linked to the ring of fire which surrounds New Zealand and causes all New Zealand's eruptions and earthquakes. And together, and hoping to create a whole new species. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years. Now I know this next one sounds boring, the olive tree, but the olive tree on the right here is actually amazing. During COVID, scientists actually worked out that there's a compound in olives, both the fruit itself and the oil, that actually prevents the coronavirus from sticking to our body's cells. So they're pumping a heap of money into it at the moment, in the hope that whenever a new SARS viruses actually turn up, they'll have a natural defense force against them. Now this little tree on the right that's just down this gully here, the miracle tree, it's one of my favourite. The reason why is it grows this little red berry. It's from West Africa, and when you eat the berry, it fires, it sort of disfires or refires your taste buds, so everything tastes sweet. So what happens is lemons taste sweet. The more sour it is, the sweeter it gets. So lemons taste, warheads taste sweet, beer tastes sweet. Anything that tastes sour, and the more sour it is, the better it is with the sweetness. Look at some of our finger lines there, just a few. Most of our main finger lines are in our bush tucker area. Now just here we've got our Buddha's hand. Our Buddha's hand is one of the oldest citrus in the world. If you have a look at it, it looks a bit like a capsicum. It's quite weird looking. It's that little yellow green thing there. I think we've got one at the next stop you can actually have a look at. It's an actual citrus, but it's not supposed to have any flesh. I think it's just all skin. This is kind of our South American sort of, and also runs into our Indian garden. So we've got the Soursop here on the right. Now, Soursop, which is also known as the lemon meringue pie fruit, is a bit like the Relinia and the custard apple. But the actual leaves of the Soursop tree, as well as the fruit, have an enzyme in them which actually kills cancer cells. It doesn't just slow them down or prevent them from forming, it actually kills the cancer cells. You guys would have tried the black sapote, the chocolate fruit. That's to the left here. We've got them all through the farm. Our Casamora on the right there, that's known as the vanilla fruit.
White sapote.
It's easy used for to help with sleep. It's a really good relaxant for muscles, and it also helps prevent stress. I think we should actually sell the tea ourselves in the extra shop. We've got our mammy sapotes here. I'm not a big fan of them, I'll be honest. I think they're kind of gross. They taste like
pumpkin.
Honey and pumpkin together. They're very popular, but I don't know, I can't get my head around them. This is the newest farm, the newest little farm on garden or within the farm. It's Bob worked out that this area was the hottest area on the farm. So what he's done is he's grown everything that has died in other areas. So we've got like the breadfruit, cacao, durian, which is that fruit that smells like feet but tastes amazing. So it'd be good to see this farm in a few years how it goes. Just to the left is the actual original avocado tree that was on this farm. It's 78 years old and it's still fruiting. It's pretty big. They do keep it short though, so it's not a tall tree. We're going to stop here guys and have some bananas and some macadamia nuts. Give me a yell if anyone's allergic to macadamia. over here, so if you want to wash your hands.
Mira, ya me agarró los otros tres.
I'll see the thing. Oscar over here.
Thank you. Keep going.
There we go.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it? I'll do it for you.
Be honest, I don't know too much about the fruit we have along this stretch, apart from the bananas, of course. So we've got like the Santo, I don't know too much about. We've got the Jackfruit, which I do. We've got a Cactus here, a star apple. I think our actual star apples are just starting to come into season now. Not on this tree, but a tree that I saw this morning was actually full of them. Just to the right here, you'll notice that we've got just 4 or 5 yellow dragon fruit trees. They look a bit rough and not too healthy, but the yellow dragon fruits, it's the best dragon fruit out of all of them. If you look on the ground, you'll see them lying on the ground. They're the only dragon fruit that's really covered in spikes, so they're really hard to pick. They're hard to prep to eat. You know, you spend more time actually picking all the spikes off than you do eating it, but they are the tastiest dragon fruit. They just have these tiny little farms and these little compounds. And the coffee industry in Latin America is turning to them to say, help us. Can you say that our industry has actually got that bad? I think 5 or 6 different species of European bees. I'm not too sure which species we have. I have been told, but Chinese garden. So we've got some longan here. I don't know too much about them. I need to start learning about the longan. But just past the longan, we've got our lychees. Now we've got about 12 or 15 different types of lychees on the farm. They haven't actually fruited in the last 2 years. Again, it's because of all the rain. On the left here, we're coming up to our wampies, which are actually the smallest citrus in the world. They're about the size of a grape, high in vitamin C though. Now, a really cool little fact is that in a region of China, there is actually sorry, I'm just going to turn something down for a sec. There is an actual lychee tree that is over 1,000 years old and is still actually producing fruit today. And in Chinese culture, the lychee represents romance, beauty, and good luck. When I was born, my parents were going to call me lychee. We're just coming up to the fauna park now, so I'm just going to pull up here. If you guys want to leave your bags on the tractor, that's fine. I'll only go through the ones that look like they've got money in them. And we've also got toilets down here, so if anyone needs the bathroom, I'll point them out. And but if we do get into the park and you miss the bathroom, we can get to the bathroom from the island.
Alright guys, one final stop here. Feeding the animals. Wow, this is so beautiful. Imagine having this in your backyard, huh? Wow-wee. Alright, the last part of the tour, sorry, got a macadamia nut stuck in my throat. The last part of the tour, guys, is a boat ride. That'll be interesting. Beautiful here, isn't it? Okay guys, we're at the barn with the sheep. Poor things. So, time to feed the animals first. This is mainly for the kids. Okay, whilst the kids are feeding the animals, I'll be waiting here for my boat ride.
Mama, we go with Mama. Mama.
Skippy the kangaroo, and there is Joey down at the bottom. There he is down at the bottom. Well, these aren't fruits, guys, but it's part of the tour. And kids love animals, don't they? We should love them too. Well, we don't have to, but why not? Here's one sleeping. Our boat has arrived, guys. Let's go for a river cruise. Look who's coming for lunch. Jungle cruise coming up in the tropics. That was so much fun. I didn't expect a river cruise. What a bonus. Looks like we're gonna be doing this next, guys. This is bush tucker, another native Aboriginal presentation. Black bean, the first astronomers, call of the reed warbler, native ginger, fire country, paperbark tea tree, and so on. Wow, it's so good for kids here too. Fun, fun, fun. And also for ornamental plant lovers, not only fruit guys, we have our ornamentals too. Check out these bromeliads and other beautiful plants. We have a few of these at home, so very nice. I just tasted this native raspberry, and I'm gonna taste a native Davidson plum. I'm not sure what these are.
They are Burdekin plums.
What are these? Burdekin?
I think they are. I could be wrong.
Burdekin.
How do you spell that? L-I. The vascular
Hey,
system and
guys.
stuff like that.
Davidson
They said
plum.
that they'll be doing all these pharmaceutical treatments, and they kind of found
I
out
warned
that
ya.
they would treat like maybe 300 patients.
Very
and
sour.
they'd all get the same.
These are meant to be made into
And
jam.
then they worked out that.
Check out the durian. Sorry, the jackfruit, guys. Wish it was durian, but wow. Nice. Beautiful. So many trees. Okay guys, looks like the tour is just about over.
Old fence-like structures, it doesn't really work for us. They're about 30 years old and they're falling apart, they're falling down, so we've planted, well, we've actually put in a heap of concrete poles. And the concrete poles will last us about 50 years, and what we'll do is plant about 3 or 4 dragon fruit around the bottom of them, and then train them to grow up. Dragon fruit's rainforest cactus. It's not a desert cactus, so it's quite easy to train, and it also needs to actually grow up and then fall back down for it to fruit. And I hope you learned something from my tour. I've learned a lot from your guys' questions, and I'm going to go away and research them, so next time someone asks, I will know. You guys have made my training really easy, and I've really enjoyed it, so thank you so much. This gentleman coming towards us now in the buggy, this is actually Bob, the owner. So if you guys want to wave to him and say hello. He's just going to pass us now. So this is Mr. Brimsmead.
Brimsmead. Hi Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
89. Wow. Alright guys, it's the end of our tour today. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
I just want to say thanks again, guys. It was a pleasure to have you this afternoon.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. Kim, out of 10? What's the score out of 10?
12.
A 12 out of 10. I give it a 12 out of 10 as well, guys. Alright, please remember to like and comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we'll see you from the next video. Bye bye now.
That was great.
And before we finish it, we have to thank Blair, our special driver today, for this special tour. You did a great job, Blair. Thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. I can't wait to check out this YouTube channel and learn some stuff myself. So,
All right.
We're learning a lot
yeah,
from
Real life Fruitopia.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
See ya.
Claire.
Thank you so much.
you. Oh, yeah.